Hello, my dear apprentices. Welcome back to another episode of Mr. Mango's math videos. Okay, let me show you something here. I want to explain to you that the objective of this lesson is for you to learn how to multiply a non-unit fraction by a non-unit fraction. What does that mean for you guys, my friends? Let's find out. So, when they talked about non-unit fractions, that means the numerator is not a one, it's a number bigger than one. So as you can see, this number is bigger than one, and the numerator 3 is bigger than one. So those are non-unit fractions. In this lesson, we're not going to multiply um, fractions that have a unit on the top. That means a 1. Okay. All right. Let's get right to it. I'm gonna just skip the example and get right to it. Let's look at a letter B. Letter B. If you do the math right away, you know that that number, which is 3/4, and of means multiplication. So let me just insert a multiplication symbol after the 3/4, and it's going to be times 4/5. Very simple, right? That is the setup of this multiplying fraction times a fraction. Okay. Now let me show you. When we do this, when you have fraction times a fraction, the numerators, which is the 3 and the 4, are multiplied, and that is 3 times 4 equals 12, over the denominator, which is the multiplication between the denominator 4 and the denominator 5, and that will be 20. The a 2 can be multiplied. Let me insert this right here. Can be multiplied by a 6, and it will give you a 12. Okay, and also the 12 can also be multiplied. To get 12 again, we can multiply 3 times 4, and that will equal 12. Okay, it has a 2 as a factor. Let me get a different color. A 6 as a factor, and a 4 as a factor, and a 3 as a factor. Okay, and this is just a one way to explain to you how do you divide this fraction. So the 20 has also more than one factor, so we can multiply the 2 times 10, and that will equal obviously 20, which is the denominator. We can also say that we can multiply two factors, and those two factors will also equal 20, and that will be 5 times 4, that will equal 20. Okay, so those are the factors that we have for 20. Are there any others? I think that's it. So here's what you do. We're going to look at the factors that are the same on both of them. For example, um, in the 12 and the 20, the 2 and the 2, that's something that they have in common. The 3, they don't have that in common. The 6, they don't have that in common, but the 4, they do have in common. Okay. However, they don't have in common the 10, and they don't have in common the 5. So that means those two numbers can be divided by 4 or by 2. And the best way to do this is to divide it by 4, because that will give you this, that will simplify it faster. So 12 divided by 4 equals 3, and 20 divided by 4 equals 5. So this is the answer, and the equivalent fraction is 3/5. Now we're going to show how to solve this problem with a fraction model. And to do that, we're going to use a rectangle, and we're going to follow the instructions based on the problem. So this one says that we have 4 parts in that particular fraction model. So we're going to show that would be 1. Okay, so we have 4 segments now, and we have to color, just like the numerator is dictating, 3 of them. We're going to highlight 3 of them. And that's going to be 1, 2. Okay, let me do that again. Going to be 3. All right, so that's 3 out of 4. Our next, the 3/4 is being multiplied by 4/5. And the way we show that on the fraction model is by dividing across or horizontally. Now, since we demonstrated now we have 4/5, we're now going to color them. And how do we know how many we colored? By looking at the numerator. So the numerator is 4. Okay, now we're going to choose a different color and we're going to show 4 out of 5. So this is going to be 4 out of 5 will be this area, exclusively this area. And now this answer must match these 12/20s. Okay, remember this is a simplification, which is an equivalent fraction, but the number that is going to show this model is the 12/20s. So if we look at the math, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 columns times 5 rows. That will be 20, which will that will be the denominator. If you count these shaded parts, which is darker color, that will be 3 times 4. That will be 12. So the number for this shaded part is 12. And my friends, that's the numerator that we received when we solved the problem. That tells you that this problem is correct. Now, we're going to write this with a statement. So the statement has to say something like this. 3/4 of 4/5 is equal to 12/20, or 3/5, which is the same thing. Okay, my friends, watch the video again. If it's necessary, review it as many times as you need to. I am here to assist you, and I hope this video helps you learn this concept better. Signing out, your coach, Mr. Mango, wishes you the best.